Hey everyone, welcome to week 7 of class. In this video, we are just going to be talking about what are we getting into? So let's check it out. So we are in chapter 6 of our textbook. We are looking at addiction across the lifespan. So our supplemental material this week will focus on that. And then we have our discussion forum for the week. And this week is your last opportunity to get points for attending a group office hour. So if you haven't done that yet, make it a point to do that. You can't make it up. If you've already attended, please attend again if you find it helpful. So let's jump down here and check out our week 7 Moodle book here. So we've got, since week 7 is the start of module 3, there's a written overview here. There's a video overview, which hopefully you've already watched on the module 3 page above this. And the overview here just describes kind of what the chapters in our textbook are looking at. So addiction across the lifespan. We are looking at assessment. We are looking at screening. We are looking at strengths-based interventions, as well as mutual help groups. The mutual help groups chapter will be helpful for you in completing that, in completing your assignment for week 11. As we look forward, that is when you will be, at least by week 11, you need to have attended a mutual support group of your choosing so that you can participate in the discussion and reflect on that. So chapter 9 will really help, I think, will really help prepare you for that, as well as I am here as a resource. So let me know how I can support you with that assignment as well. So let's get back into week 7 stuff. So week 7 overview, you're watching this video. So let's look at our learning objectives for this week. So we are going to be, we're going to learn theories that relate to development across the lifespan and relate these theories to alcohol and other drug use. We're going to learn more about how substance misuse is often connected to trauma, loss and grief, and a spiritual void. So I think it's interesting to think, wow, substance misuse is connected to those things, and those things, then how are those things connected to maybe the development of substance use disorders? We are providing more information on biological, psychological, and social factors involved in substance misuse, looking at special risks and how they differ between boys and girls, and argue for the importance of gender-specific programming for girls. And I just want to take a moment here and comment on the fact that that's not really gender inclusive language, right? When we're talking in binary terms about gender, it can be stigmatizing and othering. And what I would say about this is that the research hasn't caught up yet. So when we're in textbooks and we're reading this information and we're reading about this research that they use to write the textbooks, really the research on that is so new that often we find textbooks still using that binary language. And I think in the coming years, textbooks, when they revise their editions, will start looking to the current research and changing the language that they use. So that's just, that's my comment on that language. Another learning objective is to map out the fundamentals of motivational enhancement therapy in conjunction with the stage of change model for work with youth. So I think that's really helpful because most of the information that we get are really focused on adults. So it's nice that this textbook brings in youth strategies, where I think we're missing often, what we're missing is more information on that older adult population. And then lastly, presenting a case for harm reduction strategies for all age groups. So making sure that we are looking at all options for reducing the impact that substance use and substance misuse have on populations. And often if we are only looking at harm reduction or we're only looking at abstinence-based models, then we're missing something. So being sure that we're looking at all of those options. So what are we going to be reading this week? So chapter 6 of your textbook, we have some really good, I think, content here. There's a lot of it for this week because it's such a big topic. So check out this article, marijuana and hallucinogen use among young adults reaches an all-time high in 2021. I think that's really interesting, especially as we consider what was going on in our world, right? COVID. We can't, I think social connection, if you go back to what Gabor Mate talked about and other people, this social connection piece, if we're not, and even, why can't I remember her name while I'm doing Dr. Horn and Malcolm Horn's video really talks about that connection and why that's so important. So I think that's something that has really impacted our world. So thinking about COVID specifically, there's a great NADAC webinar on clients of the 5 current generations. So check that out as well. You're going to read chapter 4 of the Surgeon General's report, looking at early intervention, treatment, and management of substance use disorders. Check out the psychosocial stages, Erickson's psychosocial stages. So Erik Erikson put together the psychosocial theory on how we develop across our lifespan from birth and infancy all the way through later adulthood. And there are all of these stages that we navigate and we exit them, but we often exit them like infancy is trust versus mistrust. So if we have consistent caregiving, we have a higher chance of developing a sense of trust in other people. If we don't have that consistent caregiving, we might leave that we might leave infancy with a sense of mistrust. And how does that sense of trust or sense of mistrust then impact us across our entire lives, right? If we didn't have that consistency and we have this just innate, deeply rooted sense of mistrust that we've developed ever since infancy, how does that impact us across our lives? And then in terms of substance use disorders, if we have a sense of mistrust of other people, how might that impact somebody in either their risk for developing a substance use disorder or in their treatment of developing their substance use treatment? So a lot to consider as you learn more about those stages. So that link has some really good information as well as videos. Those videos aren't captioned. So if you would like captioning for the videos from that resource, there's 2 of them. They can be found here and here. There is one more video on Erickson's theory of psychosocial development that's posted here. So check that out as well. So that's it for our content for this week. Like I said, there's a lot of it, but it's a really big, good topic. So read those materials, participate in the discussion forum, and remember, this is your last opportunity to earn points for attending the group office hours. So if you haven't attended yet, you've got to make it. If you have attended already but are finding this helpful, please come again. The more the merrier. So next week we will continue module 3 and we're going to be looking at screening and assessments as well as strengths and evidence-based helping strategies. So thanks everybody for watching. I will post another video here to talk more about the assignments for this week.